just a few days away from our Cross the Line special. This is Metal, and it is going to be a hell of a night tonight. We've already seen Randy Orton has been spooked out a lot by Kane, it seems. Is he going to be in the right state of mind when he comes out here later tonight and addresses the crowd? Not only that, a huge matchup featuring two of our greatest stars, and a massive debut here tonight on NLW Metal. And the action's going to start tonight with the matchup that was made by the commissioner this past week. We got quite a conundrum for the Intercontinental Championship picture. Ever since Chris Jericho successfully defended his title over the limit, we have been trying to find a new number one contender, and we did find that. We found out who was going to be the number one contender for the Intercontinental Championship to Y2J. That man is going to be CM Punk. This episode, our coming episode on episode 27, the Cross the Line Night of Champions special, it is going to be CM Punk versus Chris Jericho for the Intercontinental Championship. Now you're probably thinking, what does Mr. Anderson have to do with this? Well, this past week, Mr. Anderson went one-on-one with Chris Jericho in a non-title matchup and pinned him 1-2-3. Mr. Anderson has argued that he should be the number one contender, but tonight he gets a chance to prove that against this guy. The man who beat the Intercontinental Champion against the man who's going to face the Intercontinental Champion. CM Punk coming out here. This past week he put off AJ Styles, Kofi Kingston and R-Truth to win a fatal 4-way and become the number one contender for Chris Jericho's Intercontinental title. He's going to get his opportunity this episode on our Cross the Line special when he goes one-on-one with Chris Jericho with the Intercontinental Championship on the line. It's been well documented, his past problems with AJ Styles. In fact, this past week he pinned AJ Styles 1-2-3 to the mat. AJ Styles was not happy, but regardless, we know that AJ Styles is going to be in that X Division Battle Royal to crown a new X Division champion this week. And also,